All right, everybody, I'm not doing anything differently, so hopefully we're going to be live now. For whatever reason, it just was not uploading. There we go. That's weird. I did not do anything differently, and it was not uploading, but it seems like all is well now. So I'll give you a second to get on. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I didn't do anything different, but for some reason my program and YouTube just didn't connect. But here we are today. Let me show you what we're going to do. We are going to be working on the Forever Greenery Suite. And I absolutely love this suite. If you guys know me, I've mentioned this suite before. It has so many elements and so much texture that you can add to it, and it just creates a super fun card. So if you have the catalog, I will tell you what page it's on. You can see all the fun items that it has available, page 108 and 109. And this is what you're going to see. It just has a whole list of items here for sale for this suite. Now, if you buy this suite, you're buying everything together. So embossing folders, ribbon, paper, you get some gold hoops, and you get some gold laser pieces, which we are not using. We are going to be adding some gold, but I'll show you a different way we're going to do that. So we will get to all of that in a minute. While we're waiting for everybody, I wanted to show you the card quickly. So this is the card we're going to be creating. And I don't know if you can see, it's got some really fun gold elements in here. Let me see if I can pick this up like this. Down here you can see a lot of fun gold. And so I'm going to show you how I do that. And then we do have some gold foil in there too. So I'll show you that. And then our sentiment, we're going to talk about how I did the sentiment and how I did the back. You know, when you punch it out twice, it doesn't give you that edge, but I'm going to show you how to do that. Hi, Carol. Welcome back. And we're going to color some ribbon, and so we'll be working on that. We have some vellum, gold foil, rhinestones. We have embossing back here and here. There's a lot of helpful little tips I have for you there. Jana, I'm so glad you joined me. Yes, happy September. Speaking of September, I want to quickly, while we're waiting for people, let you know that, yay, the new machines are available. And you think I would have remembered to switch that picture out, but I did add another one here. So these machines are both going to be with Stampin' Up, but right now it's just the large one that it's called the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And hi, Steph. And it has some amazing features to it. There is a magnetic plate, and I just ordered mine today, so let me show you our plates that we have. All right, so we have, I've lovingly used mine quite a bit. So we have the platform, which is number 1. We have this one, which is the place and die edge down. It gives you some directions. This is like the shim. It's like it is a, what do you call it? Not a shim. It's an extra one there. Hi, Mary. Hi, Felicia. Then we have 3 and 4, which my other one I'm using right here for our machines, our regular plates. And then we have this one here, which is our embossing plate. Well, the metallic one looks like this. The magnet one is kind of like this, and I believe the whole thing is magnetic. So I just ordered mine. Okay, so I ordered it at 12:15 last night, my time. So I had to have it as soon as possible because I'm super excited about it. So I ordered mine, and so as soon as it comes, I will let you know. It's already shipped. I ordered it last night, and when I woke up this morning at 8, it already said shipped. So, well, at 8 is when I checked my phone. So I'm super excited about that. The other exciting thing I have to share is in September, the 1st through the 30th, it's promotion called Get and Go. Yay, Felicia. It's called Get and Go, you guys. If you decide to join my team, Stampin' Up! Right now has a special where you're going to get 16 card kits. So those are the colors, those are the kits right there, and 2 free stamp sets with rhinestones. So also, I can share, and I'll be sharing it on my Marcie Bessaker Designs Facebook page. They have some different ideas for card kits, and I'm sure once you join, you'll probably get that in your kit also. But it tells you exactly what you need and gives you a plan on how to create some cards. You can obviously take those card kits and those stamp sets and create your own. But they do give you a plan. So if you want to use that and you're new and you want to have a get together or do a kit to send to somebody to create a card for a customer or whatever, they can have directions and everything right there and put the cards together. So it's going to be a super great promotion. And of course, I would love to have you on my Stamping Dragonfly team. That would be awesome. So if you're interested or have questions, let me know and I can help you and give you some ideas. You do not have to do this as a business. If you choose not, you can do it as a hobbyist. Stampin' Up! Loves to have hobbyists. I do not mind at all if you just want to be a hobbyist and earn some products for yourself. That would be fantastic. So just let me know and I can help you through that if you'd like. All right, so I think those are my announcements right now. I'm glancing. Again, here's my sweetie patootie. We are having so much fun. We are a busy boy, a busy boy. So if you're on my personal page, you'll see pictures, and I'm going to post them on my business page. We went night swimming last night. He loved swimming under the moon, so that was a lot of fun. And we had my son's high school best friend over and his family. And they all swam and had a great time. Thank you, Felicia. Thanks, Barry. All right, so let's get busy. We have a busy day with a lot of techniques and some tips and different things. As I mentioned before, I absolutely love this stamp set and this whole suite. It was the #1 thing I saw when I looked at the catalog. And I was like, okay, I have to have this stamp set, this whole suite. There's not one thing I didn't like about it. So we used a lot of the elements today. Okay, you guys, my hair is just, I need a haircut. Randy, if you're out there, call me. Schedule. We just opened haircuts yesterday, you guys, so I'm super excited. How crazy. Okay, back to business. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do, we're going to be using a lot of elements with this, and I have a whole basket here. There is going to be a PDF. This is a quick, short PDF. Most of the details are going to be in the video and on my blog. I just copied this off my blog, put it on the PDF so you can at least get the measurements and some of the techniques I'm going to share. And of course, you're going to get the supplies that I'm using, all right? So that's the PDF if you go to my website. It's short and sweet, but watching the video, you're going to learn a lot of techniques that I did. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, we are going to be using the Forever Fern. Let me get this shiny light off here. And we are going to be using the Forever Flourishing dies. In this suite, you get 2 embossing folders, and we are going to be using this one here. Okay, so this one's pretty busy. We're going to use this one here. All right, so I'm going to show you get both of them. My favorite embossing folder, of course, we're going to be using this Tasteful Textile 3D. We are going to be using champagne rhinestones, and in addition, on the suite, we're going to be using both of the ribbons that come with it. So we have the gold thread, and we have this cotton ribbon here. So we're going to be using both of those. So I'm going to set this aside. In addition to that, you guys, we're going to be using Coastal Cabana paper, Purple Posy paper, gold foil, and vellum. And I think that's it. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to color our ribbon. So if you look at the card, I didn't tie it around. I just tied it right here, but I did do a double bow. So what I did is I tried which color I wanted first, and this is the light, and that was too light for me. So we're using the dark Purple Posy blend. So I'm going to do my bow. Let me pull my light back in here a little bit. All right. We're going to do the bow, so I'm going to do a double bow, and that's about the ribbon that I need right there. So, because you're just going to pull it over and tie it. So we're just going to cut it right there. And we're going to do this first so we can dry. I like to pull in a craft mat. As you can see, this is very loved craft mat. And the reason I use this is because this color stays and doesn't come off, and I've used it for so many different mediums and everything. But this is perfect for what we want to do. So I'm going to take my alcohol marker, and again, this is the dark one, the dark Purple Posy. I'm taking the brush tip end, and I'm going to start on, let's see, I am going to start on this side here. And so we're just going to color over it. And it doesn't have to be super, super dark. And that's going to dry. So I'm just going to stick my finger here for the rest, and then we'll come back. All right, I don't want it all over my fingers. And if it's not a solid purple, that's not a big deal. Oh, Olivia, I'm glad you did. Are you on lunch, I hope? Or off work, even better. All right. So we're just going to keep going. Slowly. This is one of the things I didn't do ahead. I did do a lot of stuff ahead, but I wanted to show you with the alcohol markers. It dries fast, but I like to do my coloring of ribbon and such earlier than later because I want it to dry completely before I put it on my project. All right, we're just going to color that spot. And you can see a few little white spots here in person anyway. So I want to make sure those are covered. All right. All right, we're going to get a little faster here. I'll have to go back over. Oh, on the house front, you guys. Jerry, welcome. Oh, Olivia, I'm glad you're off work. That's nice. So I told you guys before that our neighbors just kind of moved, and we were like, what the heck? But we just moved in November. Of course, it was winter. We didn't get to talk to them a whole lot. We kind of said hi and waved and everything, and they're an older couple. And so they're not like outside all the time or anything, but we were friendly and said hi and everything. Well, then they just up and moved. Okay, so now what I'm noticing is I happen to probably pick a dirty spot because you can see some, well, you might not be able to, but little brown spots. I think whatever I had going on my mat is being picked up because of the alcohol. So maybe be careful of that. But that's okay. It looks gold, and that's what we're doing a lot of on our project, so I'm not too worried about that. So they up and moved, right, a couple of weeks ago. And we were like, I saw a moving truck, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait, they've only been there like 3 years. Like I said, we moved in November. It was winter, and then Corona happened, right? So nobody's outside really or going places. We've been in the house forever, seems like. And so I saw a moving truck, and then I saw, like, it looked like realtors coming and going, and we were like, what's going on? Okay, I'm going to throw this over my little light fan thing I have here, and it's just going to dry. So I'm setting that aside. So, of course, I go on Zillow to see if it's for sale, and it is. It just, they didn't have a sign up yet. And so now I know our neighbors definitely moved, right? Hi, Karen. I think I asked you before. I think it's Karen. Carrie-Ann, or Carrie-Ann, Karen. Right, Felicia? I'm sure I'm going to now have a clean spot right there. But yes, I probably could use regular alcohol right there. So anyway, the house sold, and it's a younger neighbor. apparently is what we found out because my husband talked to them today, and they said they moved in the country. They wanted more property. The husband, they're retired, and he said his little yard didn't take him very long to clean, and so he was bored and wanted some place to kind of tinker around. So they moved. Well, then today, our neighbor across from them, their house is for sale. We noticed people taking pictures of their house the other day, and what looked like a realtor with her little briefcase going in to talk with them. And they've been here for 20-something years. So I don't know if they're retiring somewhere or what's going on, but yeah. So now we're losing another neighbor, one that, you know, our neighbors are mostly have been here 20-something years. So that's how old our subdivision is. Okay, Coastal Cabana. Of course, it's A2 size. So it's 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it 4 1/4. So we're going to set that aside. Now I'm going to show you quickly what I did here. Here's my textured piece of paper, and I stamped right there. So I'm going to take the stamp set, and I'm just adding a little bit of something, something. So I'm just adding some little texture spots, and I'm going to do that for my sentiment also. So I am going to find another sentiment though, because I want it to be a birthday card. I need to send out a birthday card. So what I'm going to do is take some pretty peacock. It would be nice to have the stamp. I'm going to pull out this little stamp right here. Oh, let's see, right there. It's just like some splatter. It's right here. Oh, see, that was left over from a project I did. And I think that was the inside of a card. So I just left it in here in case I'm using those colors. I can grab that and use it. All right, so we're just going to take this and just kind of randomly put them. Most of it's going to be covered over here. So I'm just going to do it on the edge. I always like to go off. It just looks like it's a little more finished. This one I went off right here and then decided to put the tag right there. But I decided on the little splatters after I embossed on that one. So we're just going to set that aside for right now. I want to get our sentiment done. We're going to use this again, but I don't want to stick my hand in the ink. All right, so now, while we have the splatter out, we're going to go ahead and do the sentiment. Okay, Steph, thanks. All right, so I'm grabbing a birthday. Let's see, what do I want? I should have done this before, and this always happens to me. But I always change my mind at the last minute, and I was thinking, you know what, I want to do a different stamp. So I'm going to choose this Happy Birthday to You right here, and that's what we're going to use. So I'm using it from the best year. That is not listed on my sheet because I thought about it just a few minutes ago, because I was thinking, oh, I need to make a birthday card today. But I also am going to take my son, my grandson, swimming. So I'm choosing to do this instead. So I am going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. We're going to use the Happy Birthday to You. And I'm going to do it in Pretty Peacock. Look what I just did. I love this color. So I am going to stamp the sentiment like that. Now what I did on the sentiment is I don't really like to do the sentiment just stark white. It just, to me, just kind of really sticks out. So I like to add a little something to it. So of course I'm going to bring in my speckles, but I think I'm going to put those in Old Olive just because I did this in the peacock. And I'm going to stamp it off. And now that's stamped off, and look how dark it is. We're just going to stamp off, and we don't know how close that is going to be in our punch. I'm using the Timeless label, so it's going to be in there just fine. So we're going to move this, and then I think I'm going to add a Coastal Cabana. Bonjour, Marie. Welcome, welcome. I took French in high school, but do not ask me anything other than how to order ham in a restaurant. But I plan on coming to France soon. We are planning it as soon as we're able to travel anyway. All right. So I'm going to take Coastal Cabana, and I'm going to take just a little leaf. You're going to notice that this little leaf goes this way and this one goes this way. I'm going to put it up on the upper right corner. So I want this leaf because it's going to go that way. All right, so we're done with our little splatters. I'm going to switch this out. I'm going to take Coastal Cabana. I'm going to stamp off and then just kind of put it like that. And that's all I want because we're not going to get much of that anyway. We're going to be cutting a lot of that off. All right. So this one is done. And this one is a different set. I'm going to put this one back away. This is a great set. The best year, because it just gives you a bunch of different sentiments and even just your basic hello, hey. I like hey, hip, hip, hooray. So cute. But that's a fun set. All right. My grandson's sleeping. My daughter-in-law's relaxing, enjoying the pool. And the guys are golfing. So that is what's going on today here. All right, so there, that's exactly what I want. Just a little something added to it. So we can put that aside. And let me look in my little envelope here. I think if I have, oh, see, I already went ahead. Oh, I used a different one. Look at that. I just grabbed the wrong stamp set. So that is a bummer. All right. So let me fix that. I can't believe I just did that. Yeah, I can. I can believe I just did that. All right. Quick, quick. Old Olive. Sorry about that. That's what I get for doing too many projects at one time. I had the wrong. I thought when I said what the name of that was, I thought that looked wrong. All right. Everyday label, that's what it is. So we're going to take out our sentiment again. I hate when I do that. All right. So we are going to stamp the sentiment. I didn't like that one. All right, there we go. Can you believe I just did that? Wow. Okay, so the green, we're stamping off. And it kind of makes sense to do your words first so you can kind of see where your green's going to go, or whatever color you're choosing to color. All right, and then we're going to use this one for a little leaf. All right. I cannot believe it's September already. So we've got so many people that are kids getting ready for school. My granddaughter is going to start school on Monday, the 14th. And she actually is going to be going to school because she is in Oregon. And I think she said kindergarten through 3rd grade can go to school. Like actually go to school. So she is very excited about going to school. And then the next day she's not so excited about going. So I think she's nervous, but she will be fine. All right, so there is what I did. I'm going to move it over. I want the Y all the way on there, but I want the leaves too. So I'm just going to the corner of the Y. Again, this is the everyday label. Now, I've showed this before, but I want a little bit of color to poke out. So whenever you have a label that is flat on the front or flat on the sides, because you can cut it and lift it straight up or sideways. So we're going to cut this one right in the middle. And it doesn't have to be straight. It doesn't have to be one side or the other. It really doesn't, not that big of a deal, because you're going to add your glue right on the back of here. So I'm going to add my glue just like this. Just kind of get an idea of the size that you want. I look at right here and up here and just make sure that it's kind of even. And then I'm going to turn this one over and do the same over here. Okay. And then just lay that down. And again, as long as your top and your bottom is flush, then you can pull this out and move it. That's why I like to use the liquid glue. Just kind of get an idea what's straight. And now you can set this aside to dry. Okay? So that prep work's done. This is done right here. So I showed you how we stamped on our white paper, and then we're going to run it through the embossing folder. So, man, this white light is just kind of crazy, right? Okay, so then we're going to run it through the embossing folder and have the Tasteful Textures die right there. Embossing folder. So we're going to go ahead and set this aside. You don't need to see me emboss. All right, so now here's our paper. And this is 4 by 5 1/4, but this will all be listed on my blog and all the dimensions and everything, and on the PDF that will be there and available. All right, so what I've mentioned before is when I first got the set, I sat down and I die cut out a bunch of pieces. So I just take a piece of paper and I bring it in, and I'll show you what I do. I'm going to grab a stamp. This one, I think on this card, we did it in, find my block here. We did it in Pretty Peacock. So I just take Pretty Peacock and I just stamped. So just keep stamping, and then you have a bunch. And then I just sat there and I just die cut out over and over and over. And then now I have these, and they're pretty much in these same colors, the shaded spruce. You know, look in the DSP, and those are pretty much the same colors that I used. I did some sentiments. So I am ready to go to create some cards. So this is just a you got this. And then I did some on vanilla. Remember, if you look back, I did that card, how to make a really nice card and turn it into a wow card. So I have a lot of vanilla pieces in here. I also took a bunch of these little pieces here, and I'm going to pull them out because I don't think I pulled them out because I wanted to show you. So I'm going to pull these out. I'm going to pull 3 of them out. No, let me look. The die has right here, the die has 4 of them, 4 little pieces. So I pulled out 4 pieces, and I made these white because this is the pop of color that you can add and choose a different color, right? So there are 4 pieces right there. All right, so this kind of gives you an idea. When I need to do a card, I just grab some of these and go. All right, so I pulled out 4 of those. So you can always use your green and then add some different colors. So what I did is I added my Purple Posy. When I added my Purple Posy paper, I also added Purple Posy ink. And that's where the ribbon's going to come from, and that's where these are going to come from. So I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to bring in my little mat here because it's got plenty of paper. Make sure they're all die cut which way they go. And they're like that. So I took my piercing tool, or your take pick, whatever you have, and I just hold it down and I'm just coloring these. So you could die cut these out, but if you've already got a stack of leaves and stuff already done and you're kind of going with that color scheme, pull out what you need and then color these whatever color you are. I mean, these could be the Mary Merlot or, you know, any other Rococo Rose, whatever color you're wanting to change up your card to and add. There you go. You've got your 4 colors there now that you can just pop in on your card and kind of, hi Tashana, and kind of add that color to your card. So these will be cut out and add to my stack there. All right, so we have our card base and we have our first layer. And now what I said is you take a quarter, let's not jump ahead. Let's take this, which is going to be, it's going to be 5 1/4 by 2 1/8. Remember, all these are going to be on my blog, the directions and the sizes for you. And we are going to emboss this in the embossing folder. And this is the one I showed you that we're using. So let me get my plates correct here, because I just took one away. And after I showed you, I took my plate away here. All right. So we are going to put this in here and get our texture going. And I'm going to show you the size is not correct on here right now. This I matched the size of the folder because I'm going to cut it down and I'll tell you why. So this right now is just over 3 1/4 by 5 1/2. All right, so we're going to put this in. I just wanted this full thing embossed. And I am going to grab my emboss plate. So a lot of people ask me, I use the Express because it just works better on my table when I'm doing videos. But our plates still work on it, so I just embossed with the emboss plate. I'm hoping my magnetic works on it because it just works better for videos for me. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this down to 2 1/8 by 5 1/4. So we're going to cut 5 1/4 because that's what the size of the white one. Hello, Bastelek. Or is it Sasha? Welcome from Germany. How exciting. Okay, 2 1/8 is what we're going to do right here. Now, can you guess what I'm going to do with this piece? This is the piece I believe I cut to 3/4 inch by 4. And so I want all this decorative part right here. So I'm going to go to 4, and this is going to go at the bottom of the inside of my card. Okay, so that is going to go on the bottom. It's got some design just like we had in the front right here, so it kind of ties it all together. All right, so we're going to move our leaves over. We're going to bring this back in. I'm going to try it like this and see if you guys can see that all right. All right, so we're going to add this on here. And I always tend to cut slightly longer. I'd rather trim it and have it align correctly than be too short. And I'm going to look at the card. There's a lot going on up here, so I want this to go on the bottom because it's busier here, and I'm going to put that on the bottom. Then you're going to take your gold foil. I have 2 pieces, and again, one is they're both a little long. I just cut my scraps what I had, and I want them to be 1/4 inch by 5 1/4. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue this down. And I just happen to have this here next to me, so I'm going to use it. Oops, a little off here. Now I have two of them, so I'm just going to fold it in. I put my Stampin' Seal on it, and it's a little, I missed the whole side, so I did two of them, and now it's going to be wide, but I'm cutting off that top part anyway. So let's just tuck all this inside. Should have just used liquid, but that's all right. We'll use liquid on the next part. As long as you tuck it under, it'll be fine. You can also take your take a pick tool or your piercing tool, if that's what you have, and just tuck it in. It'll be fine. All right, so I'm going to put this along the edge. Because I'm working with adhesive, I'm going to bring my silicone mat out, and I'm just going to add this to the edge. Okay, so that goes on the edge, and you're going to be sticking that down. I always turn it over when I cut. Now that's nice and even. And now we're going to take our Purple Posy piece that we did, and we're going to just butt this right up against the foil. All right, so we're going to go ahead and use liquid on this. I like to use liquid especially when it's embossed, because you want it to get in those grooves and really make sure it's going to stick. And so I just like using liquid glue with that. So I'm going to just start it at the top, lay it down, and slide it over so that it goes right up against the gold. All right, and this also gives you a little room to slide it if you need, and this barely, I mean, you can't even tell it hangs over, so I'm not worried about that. All right, so we're going to do that. Now we're going to go ahead and use the gold on the glue on this. I'm just going to put a little bit right along the Purple Posy. And I should have done it on this side because this is textured, but I think this is going to be fine because I put a little extra. All right, we're going to just hug that right against it again. Just push it up against. There you go. So that we're adding our gold. I think when you add even just a little bit of gold, oh, my head's in the way again. Jeez, I think I would remember, but okay. So there's that. And now what I've done is I'm bringing in my little purple pieces. I have 4 of them here. Here's just some extra gold that I had, and that's what I took my strips from. So you can put that aside. Okay, so I just pulled out a bunch of my pieces that I had. I had some gold that I did, so I actually am going to cut that in half. I'm putting that in 2 different spots. I'm going to pull this in. These, all I did is I took this leaf and I stamped it with Coastal Cabana on Coastal Cabana paper, and then I die cut them out. So it's just adding a little bit of texture on there, just so they're not just like super bold and with no texture. So I'm going to add that and these, and then I have vellum, and I'm going to cut those in half. Cut my vellum, and I believe I cut these in half too, just to add a little more everywhere. So I'm going to leave it at that for right now. And this, see, I already did a, that was the wrong punch, but I'm going to add this back in here. So add it back in for another day. All right. So we have our sentiment done, we have our bow, and now we have our pieces. So what I'm going to start doing is just take the pieces that you want. I kind of try to put the taller pieces in the back. And so just kind of get an idea what you want to do. I want to break up the blues and the greens with a lighter green. I want this one to go way up here. Now what I did with the little purple ones is I took my mat here and I laid them down and I made them like a long little sprig, like it's a cluster. So I'm going to add a glue dot right here. And then I'm just going to add another one. And then just kind of cluster them together. And I like to take them off when the piece is so little, because if you try to stick them on like I normally do and pull them off, you're going to rip your little pieces here. Oh, my grandson's up. I can hear him. All right. And then just take them, and I'm going to put this one a little lower, and then just kind of cluster it. So now it just looks like a little cluster of flowers, right? All right. So we're going to bring this back in, and I'm going to go ahead and use some mini glue dots. And I just want them popped up a little bit, like here and there, and then maybe right there. So you don't need a lot. They stick really well. All right, so I want this one fairly high. And so now you're just kind of figuring out, you know, what, there's a lot of green, so I'm good with this one kind of going over. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the foam dimensionals at the top, and I'll probably put one like right here. And not so much down here, because things are going to start layering up on top of each other, right? So I want that one over here because I'm going to put this one here. So I do the large pieces first. I'm not going to do another one of these, I don't think, but we could. Yeah, maybe we will. Okay, so we're going to continue. I'm going to move to some larger ones. Okay, because we just want one. And I'm going to put that right here. And I'm going to put this one towards the top again, because we're going to pile up down here, and I just don't want them to have too much bulk down here, because we're going to put the ribbon and everything there. All right, so now what I do is I take the glue dots and I just put it not all the way to the bottom, but enough down so you can just kind of layer them in. So I'm just going to pop this one right there. So now it's just a matter of where you think things will look good. You're going to be kind of filling in some holes, and I really like to use glue dots for this. I tend to put one towards the bottom and then another one towards the top a little bit, but not all the way, because I don't mind that these kind of stick out a little and aren't flat against the surface. And as long as you have your piece that's not attached to anything else, kind of tucked in, it looks like it's a full piece. So I want to stick some out. You got to think about if you're doing a flower arrangement, things are just kind of sticking out here and there. And that's kind of the look I want. And I think I'm going to go out a little farther, but let me see. I think I'm going to put this back here. All right, I think I'm going to do that. But I want to stick it up a little bit. So again, it's all in a matter of what you're wanting to do. I want my stems to kind of all go right there, because they're going to be, the ribbon's going to go right there, and I can still kind of make sure that they're all together. This cluster, I'm going to go ahead and add some dimensionals. I'm going to put one towards the bottom. Oh gosh, my head's in the way. All right, you guys are so nice. You need to say your head's in the way. All right, so now I have two there, and I'm just going to pop them up here just to add, maybe I'll do it like right here. So it's enough up so you can see it, because we're going to add some more stuff there anyway. All right, we're going to add another gold. I'm going to put that over here. And you can layer them kind of in and out and wherever you want them. That's the fun part of this. So this set, all you need to do is, like I said, when you do a bunch of colors, you can just add some color, like this color back here is changed, and then these little purples here, make the bow the color that you want it, and you're good to go. Now, I lost a couple of my little leaves right here, so we're going to pop this up, and now I think I'm ready to add the bow. Now, the last part that I really can't wait to show you is how I do my little gold. Because if you have used this gold thread, you know how it just starts to unravel when you're using it. And so I have a little trick on how I adhere that on. All right, we're going to add this just right here to add a little more color. All right, and so I'm going to leave it, I think I'm going to add one more vellum and then I think we're done. I think that'll be good. I can hear my grandson outside. All right, let's add this just up here, kind of sticking out a little bit. I'm going to add another glue dot there though, because I want to make sure that it doesn't. All right, I think we're good. We're going to add this one right down here. And you can see a little bit, just take your tool and poke it in. Okay, now that's sticking out a little bit, and that's okay because we still have our background to add, our card base. But I like to do the front of my card, I like to do separate before I add it to the card base. All right, so now let's take our bow, and it's completely dry. My bow is completely dry. All right, so again, you're going to do a figure eight, and go over, and then you come under. And I've done this on several videos, so you'll see it. Yeah, I don't like how I did the bow. I'm going to see what it looks like when I put it together, but on top of that area. I did it last time, I didn't have a problem, but I think just where I happened to choose to do it, it just colored in a few places, but that's all right. It'll be okay. I think I'm just going to cut this major part off right here anyway. All right, so I'm going to trim my bow. We're going to add the bow right there. Okay, and we are going to add our card base. All right, I don't like the bow, you guys, because it's got these splotches, so I'm going to redo the bow. So I'm just going to add it with a glue dot for now, and then I'll fix it later. I don't want to waste your time doing it, but we'll just put it right there so we know where it's going to go. I'm going to shorten this anyway, but it's still, I can see the color and it must have picked up something. All right, so we're going to add that there, but I'm not done yet. So let's pretend it's on there because I don't add it till the end. I'm going to take my sentiment and I just kind of tucked it in. Now, one thing I did do is I'm going to take the gold and I do a bow behind the bow, just so there's a lot of gold sticking out. So I did the same thing, but just one time. No, I did a double bow. So I'm going to do a double bow, just like I did the purple. So I'm going to cross over. and come up through. All right, and tighten that up. And now you have a beautiful bow. See how that's just unraveling right there? So I'm going to show you a trick on that. I'm going to finish unraveling it now that it's all tied. All right. All right, so I am going to put this under because that will stay. And I just kind of fan it out because I want to see the gold, right? And then I'm going to add more gold. See how this is all just spread out? I just love it. And I just take a pick or your piercing tool and just kind of finish it so that it does all just kind of unravel. So I have a lot of the gold showing. Now what you're going to do, the secret to adding the gold is you're going to tie it in a little knot. So kind of pull it to where you want it and then tie it in a knot. And now I cut this piece here, and now I take either your piercing or your take a pick tool, whatever you have, and just kind of do it. So just finish unraveling it because it will start to unravel as soon as you cut it. Okay, so there's my pretty gold that I have. So what I do is I add it on like that. Do a couple of them. I think 3 is good. I mean, kind of get an idea of what you have and what you want. But doing that is not going to unravel it all over the place and lose what you want to do with it. And then I just kind of finish the unraveling. If you just do that, you'll see it just kind of unravels. You can use your fingers too, whatever you want. And then I add it. Now you can take this and then just kind of put it where you want it. So I want to stick it in there. And so see, now you've got all this pretty gold sticking out. It's not going to fall out anywhere. I'm going to take another one. And I'm going to stick it right here under this little leaf. And your piercing tool is just enough to stick it down there. And then you can trim it if you want. It just adds that much. And I think 2 is enough right now with that. So we're just going to pretend we're adding our bow back on. That has spots on it. All right, now I'm going to add this back on before my sentiment, and then we're going to add our rhinestones. All right. So we're going to add this on. Again, all the sizes will be on my blog, and I'll have a PDF on there for you. I just know I like to be visual. I like to watch the videos and see what they do because, you know, as we're writing up our instructions and doing things, sometimes it's easier to see it visually, and then you're like, oh, wait, don't forget to do this, don't forget to do that. And like I said, when I named off the label, I'm like, that doesn't sound right, but maybe. And because I've been doing so many directions recently, I thought, well, maybe I did change it up and do the wrong one. I'm going to put this one right in the middle, but then I'm going to just add these. I'm trying to use up my scraps here. Don't ever throw the edges of your dimensionals away because those are still dimensionals, right? All right, so now we use, and then I just use a piece of tape right here. I just take this, it's reusable, you know how I use my repositionable tape. And then I just do the same thing, but look, I need more. Okay. Thank you, Patty. And so, like I said, this set is just to have it around and have some pieces like I did. Just makes amazing cards. And I want to pull the gold up a little bit and kind of sneak it in under. My gold's down, but my bow will kind of move around a bit. I'm going to pull it down a little. I want my gold. So take your tool, pick up your gold, and then kind of put this in where you want it. And then your gold will just fall over, which is great. And so will your ribbon when I'm going to replace. All right, so there is your card, but we're not done. We need to make it sparkle. I try to throw these little gold cuttings away though quickly because they will be all over the place. And now we're going to take our rhinestones. I'll set them down. Here we go. The champagne rhinestones are so pretty. Thank you, Peg. Thanks, Jana. All right, so we're going to pull these out. I like to pull mine out on the side because sometimes I just pull them out a little bit and to get the colors that I want, but this one's kind of over, so I want to put a large one there, and I'm going to put a medium up here, and I think I'm going to put a small one right there. So you just kind of randomly, that's 3, so I think I'm going to put I'm going to tuck it in right here, a medium again, and then I think I'm going to put a small right here. I don't normally put them on the tag, but this is just, to me, is just a real blingy kind of card other than this ugly bow that I'm going to replace. See how pretty this one came out? It's just all nice and purple. My lighting in here, I've got to fix my lighting. It just drives me crazy. It's either glaring for you or I can't see. So that one just has a really pretty bow, and this one ended up with some ink from my mat on it. So I'm going to be replacing that. But I just really like the idea. Let me move this. Now you can really see the cards. I just really like the idea of having the leaves ready to go. I love these colors. I love how it matches the designer series paper. So a lot of times, even if you're doing a different card that might have a lot of flowers in it or something and you just need some leaves, I mean, you could do all these leaves with olive or the moss, or, you know, the more of the green colors that you want, the granny apple, that type of color, and not so much like the coastal cabana or you know, the pretty peacock, if that's not, you know, your type of color, and have leaves ready to go and grab them and add them to a project. And so this set is just, I just love it. And I can't believe I made this card without any designer series paper, because I love the designer series paper for this. So I'll show you some other cards quickly that I made with the set. I have a few handy. So here are some, and I did do a video on one that I created to a wow card, but here are just some other ideas on those cards. I don't have my wow one handy, or I would show it to you. I don't know what I did with it, but you can go back and see the video, and that one really shows you how to step up a card. But you can see in this suite, these gold specialty paper, this is a cut, you just punch it out of a sheet, and this just adds so much to a card. And then there's the ribbon that's not colored. And then again, in the same suite, you've got this gold here, and this is like a panel. And again, I tied the twine here, so you can see the gold. I added some vellum. And then this one, really, I added a lot of the gold. And they have even little branches. I mean, it just really adds to a card and makes it. So those are just some other ideas that I chose. And you can see that I used DSP on here. So I used the green here, and then the more of the variety of the colors there. So just having those leaves ready to go, That's when I did these leaves, and these are still from here. The only thing I added was the shaded spruce and the coastal cabana. So there's just so much you can do with this suite. And by adding this pop of color in there, it just really makes it a, you know, looks like a whole different card. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you liked the little tips and tricks. And the tip not to do is to find an inky spot on your mat that the alcohol's gonna pick up. Thanks, Carol. I really appreciate you guys joining me and crafting with me. Again, I wanted to let you know that the machine is available today, the large die cut machine. It is amazing. I really like it. Thanks, Mary. And of course, I would love to have you as a part of my team if you are interested in joining or have questions about it. If you're on the fence and you have questions, let me know. You do not have to make it a business, and you can still thrive and get the benefits of a demonstrator. So just let me know and I'll share some information with you about that. Again, here's the card we created today. I did a birthday one, so I'm going to replace that ribbon and get that sent out. I'm working now on some really fun cards for my customers that ordered this month. I've got the cards done for August already. September's cards are just too cute, except I ran out of ribbon. So I put in an order yesterday. Hopefully it's coming soon. But those are for September, so I have plenty of time. And I'm going to go spend some more time with my grandson. He's awake, and I'm sure he wants to go swimming. So we're probably going to do that. On Sunday, I will be here on Sunday. I will be in a few weeks gone. And so I will probably record some videos to post when I'm not here. So still be looking for that. If you want to subscribe, I would really appreciate it. You can subscribe. Let me show you the card here. You can subscribe below, and in the corner there, just click, and that would be so awesome. And you can share. I would really appreciate that. I would love to be able to share my craftiness with some other people. And I think I learn tips and tricks from everybody all the time. So I might find, 5 of my favorite stampers that I watch all the time, but then randomly I'll find some other people that I see a card that I like, and I learn something I never would have known. And so that is always fun. So sharing is, I'm grateful for that. If you share, then hopefully people can join, and the more the merrier, right? I am live on YouTube on Tuesdays at 2 o'clock and on Sundays at noon. And yes, I do randomly pop on between here and my Facebook page. My Facebook business page is Marcie Bessaker Designs. And I do post over there, and also will post and say, don't forget today at 2 o'clock, I'll be on. So just in case you missed it or you don't have your YouTube open, you'll get a reminder over there. On my blog, I do have September's code up, and I'm thinking, did I change it on here? I did not. So I will be updating my code here for September, and I will get that up for you. So when you are shopping, you can see it there. But when you go to my blog, which is Marcie Bessaker Designs, or excuse me, marciebessaker.com, my current host code is right below the shop now. So you'll see that on there. So I will get that updated. Thank you so much, Mary. I really do appreciate that. All right, so I am just going to change my code here. I hope everybody is staying safe and having a not so much of a hot day. It's pretty hot here. All right, my code should be changed now. Let's take a look. But like I said, if you go to my blog at marciebessaker.com, it will be listed on the right-hand side. And my code is written on here. I don't know why it's not showing up. That's weird. But I'll get it fixed. So we will update that. And I will see you guys again on Sunday. Sunday, I have a holiday card. It will be a Christmas card. It is a stamp set that I wasn't quite sure I wanted to get because it looked really busy and like a lot of work. Well, I came upon a way to do it that really simplifies it, and it is gorgeous. So super easy, and I think you'll really like the technique. And not only with this stamp set, if you see another stamp set that's a busy stamp set and you're like, I do not want to color all of that, this is the way that is really going to be helpful, and I think you'll enjoy it. So I can't wait to see you guys on Sunday at noon. We'll see you then. Have a fantastic week.